when you don't dress like everybody else. You don't have to think like everybody else. You have to be interested. If you're not interested, you can't be interesting. You only have one trip. You might as well enjoy it. I think I still keep my sense of wonder, which I call childlike, not childish, childlike. I still have a vivid imagination, and I like to try a lot of new things. I don't have any rules, because I would only be breaking them. So it's a waste of time. I say, dress to please yourself, listen to your inner muse, and take a chance. Wear something that says, here I am today. If you don't learn constantly, you don't grow and you will wither. Too many people wither on the vine. Sure, it gets a little harder as you get older, but new experiences and new challenges keep it fresh. I was never hurt by what anybody said about my clothes, because I dress to please myself. If somebody doesn't like what I'm wearing, it's their problem, not mine. I'm not going to be a rebel and offend anybody, but I'm not going to live in somebody else's image. In my view, you can't go to the future if you haven't come from the past. My look is either very broke or very zen. Everything in between makes me itch. You're not pretty, and you'll never be pretty, but it doesn't matter. You have something much better. You have style. I can't tell people how to have style. No amount of money can buy you style. It's just instinctive. I had to be my own person and live my own life if I wanted to be happy. And I just did it. You have to look in the mirror and see yourself. If it feels good, then I know it's for me. I don't dress to be stared at. I dress for myself. I don't expect to find inspiration. It just sort of comes. Sometimes you step on a bug and you get inspired. I think fashion is just part of my life, and if it hadn't have been fashion, then it would have been something else. I always feel that if you're gonna be uncomfortable and unhappy in something, just because you think it's in or it's chic, I would advise you to be happy rather than well-dressed. It's better to be happy. You have to observe a few simple rules in dressing, which are really not rules. It's just being appropriate. If you're 70 and want to wear mini skirts, 70-year-old knees ain't pretty. Coco Chanel said, take one thing off. I always said put another one on. My mother worshipped at the altar of accessories and I got the bug. She always said, if you have a good, little simple black dress and you have different accessories, you can have 27 different outfits. Given the choice, I would spend my money on accessories. Everything that's happened to me, nothing's been planned. I've never had a business plan. I just kind of fell into it and I liked it and I took a chance. I took a lot of chances in my life. I'm happy if I can help anybody. I'm more than happy to. But you have to find your own path. When the fun goes out of getting dressed, you might as well be dead. You can't just say, I'm gonna have style. You have to work at it. It's intuitive. Some people have it, and some people can work on it all day long, and it will never happen. The fun of getting dressed is it's a creative experience. When you're older, no matter how good your humor is, you don't always feel perky and peppy. But if you sit home all day and brood about it, it gets worse. It's more important to be happy than well-dressed. These are things I love, things I've worn. I get more compliments on accessories than anything else. I think they're kind of like herbs and spices. They give zest and zing to an outfit. I'm a great believer in common sense, and the older I get, I see that common sense is not that common. When you go to a nice restaurant, you want to be relaxed and have a drink and everything. You want to look at people who look well. You don't want to look at some slob with an open shirt and a hairy chest. At least I don't. To lead the good life in New York, the two most important things for a woman are a chauffeur and a fur-lined raincoat. If you have those two things, you're made. To me, there are lots more important things in the world than just having the right shoes. You can't try to be somebody you're not. That's not style. You have to know yourself and know what you can carry. If you're not comfortable, no matter how well dressed you are, you're not going to look right. I'd rather be happy and feel comfy. Humor is important in everything. Dress with a little humor in you can go a long way. I just mix and put things together the way the spirit moves me. I think that if you have to work very hard at dressing up and it makes you nervous or uptight, then you won't look very well because you won't be comfortable. I think it's much better to be comfortable and happy than well dressed. I'm a color person. I've never been known to play it safe. Plus, I like big bags. My eyeglasses are so big, they don't fit into smaller bags. I think if women put some more of the time and money they put on their heads in their heads, they'd be better off. I'll spend more time getting dressed than I spent at the actual event. Technologically, I live in the 17th century. I have a very simple cell phone. I say I live through the kindness of strangers because if they see something on the net, they type it out and send it to me. I don't think dressing has anything to do with numbers. I know people of 30 who act like they're 97, and I have a few old bag friends who are very hip. If you're over 60, arms are not pretty, so I think you should stay covered up, but wear what's appropriate for what you're doing, how you live, and what your lifestyle is. I had a great example with my mother, who was extremely chic. I find that if I get up and push myself, I get lost in what I'm doing, and I forget about everything else until I stop doing it. My mother knew if you bought a couple of really good architectural outfits and put your money into accessories, you could create a million different looks. She taught that to me, which I think was invaluable. People would always say to me, "Why are you wearing such large frames?" And I would say, "The bigger to see you." Fashion you can buy, but style you possess. The key to style is learning who you are, which takes years. There's no how to roadmap to style. It's about self-expression and, above all, attitude. Irisapfel, August 29, 1921, March 1st, 2004, in Astoria, Queens, New York City. On August 29, 1921, Apfel was the only child of Samuel Barrel 1897-1967, whose family owned a glass and mirror business, and his Russian-born wife, Sadie Sid Barrel, Asofsky, 1898-1998, who owned a fashion boutique. Both were Jewish. Although raised on a farm by her parents and grandparents, she often rode the subway into the city to explore Manhattan, where she fell in love with Greenwich Village. While still a child, she shopped at antique shops, starting her extraordinary collection of jewelry from around the world. During the Depression, her whole family could sew, drape, glue, and paint, and had a flair for design and style on the smallest of budgets. Iris studied art history at New York University and attended art school at the University of Wisconsin. Iris Apfel was an American businesswoman, interior designer, and fashion designer, known for her flamboyant style, outspoken personality, and oversized eyeglasses. In business with her husband Carl, from 1950 to 1992, Apfel had a career in textiles, including a contract with the White House that spanned 9 presidencies. In retirement, she drew acclaim for a 2005 show at the Costume Institute at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, featuring her collection of costume jewelry and styled with clothes on mannequins as she would wear them. She became a fashion icon, was the focus of the 2014 Albert Maysles documentary Iris, then signed to IMG in 2019 as a model at age 97.